time you were all standing with me like that was at Neila. And I think that's only because the Ark was open. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'm deeply honored and touched to be this year's honoree. Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. It's almost like attending your own funeral. You get to hear all the wonderful things that people say. But you're alive for it. I'm also honored by the presence here tonight of my wife, Anita, my daughter, Dina, my sons, Elliot and Josh, Josh's fiancée, Alana, and her parents, Bob and Linda, and brother David. My father is here as he's been on various Shabbatot and High Holy Days. And my brothers-in-law and their wives are here as well, Peter and Robin, Paul and Sally. I'm also honored by professional colleagues and leadership from Congregation Bethel, synagogue where I work, President Bill Gold, his wife Erica, and VP of Admin Steve Newman and his wife Karen. And I am further honored by the presence of friends of long standing from places as far away as Toronto and as near as Riverdale, and all of you have come out tonight for me and for Shomrei Torah. There are a few thoughts that I want to share with you, but before doing so, I need to express my sincere thanks to the people who made all of this possible. Committee chairs Arlene Marks and Dan Seplow, assisted by Adrian Codell, Cindy Merker, and tonight's MC and Haftarah Davner. If they would all come up to the bima, I have a small token of my appreciation for them. I'm sure there are others involved too numerous to mention, but I would be remiss if I did not thank our President, Cheryl Sarin, who had the task of actually asking me if I would be this year's honoree, and Rabbi Mark, our spiritual leader, who lets all of us share his bima to help lead services for this congregation. And as one synagogue executive to another, I wish to thank Nadia and Don in the office, and Gloria for handling all of the little details of going to organizing an evening like this. Ladies and gentlemen, the committee, these people did an amazing job. So, I have a few brief remarks, and what I'd like to do tonight in this part of the remarks is tell you why I'm here. And then we'll take a brief musical interlude. I've had many requests to reprise the Musaf Amidah from Rosh Hashanah. And then I'll tell you why you are here. Don't worry, the ushers will be coming through the aisle shortly with no dose and 5-hour energy drink so that you'll make it through. To tell you why I'm here, I need to tell you a story. Some months ago, I happened to walk into the office of Sandy Sachs, the preschool director at Bethel. She was on the phone with a potential student's mom. The director's assistant is sitting across the desk from her, and we're hearing Sandy's side of the phone conversation. When she finishes, the story comes out that the mom is not sending her daughter to our preschool. Why? Because the child has decided that she doesn't want to come to this school. We're talking preschool. The child can be not more than 3 or 4 years old, and yet she, the child, has made this decision. And the mother has gone along with it. The three of us are stunned. Now let's go back in time to the few days after my own bar mitzvah. My birthday and bar mitzvah were in November, early into the school year. I was finished. I had reached that pinnacle known as bar mitzvah, and I was so ready to throw off the shackles of Hebrew school, 3 days a week in those years, and find other things to do with my time. And then I heard it, the dreaded word, no. It was my parents telling me that I was going, not only was I going to finish out the year, but that I was going to continue on to Hebrew High School at Gratz College in Philadelphia. I did a great job on my bar mitzvah day and thanked them in the evening at that Gala event. How could they do this to me? I'm sure they didn't realize that they had just killed my career as a clarinet player cadet squad soccer player, and being proud parents, they probably didn't care either. Needless to say, I was not a happy camper that day. Dad's here, you can ask him about it. For a 13-year-old at that time, this was truly the definition of purgatory. But I can guarantee you that were it not for that decision, I would not be standing here today. I don't want to make it so dramatic and say that that no changed the course of my life, but it did put many things into perspective as it has affected me since. The lesson I will leave you with is this. We as Jews have a long and beautiful heritage. Sadly, we have not always been good at passing it along to our children. Many of us here tonight have bar mitzvah age children or children around that age. Soon they will be off to college and out of the house. I know you don't believe this, but it'll happen more quickly than you think. And this is from a guy who's taking his third child to move tomorrow out of the house to an apartment. So it goes by like that. At that time, on their own, your children may walk away from this heritage. They won't do this because they hate it. They will walk away without knowing what they are walking away from. All of you parents that I work with for your bar and bat mitzvahs know that I praise the Hebrew school for getting them ready for these simchas, but in my case, it was only later learning that brought me to an appreciation of all that Judaism has to offer. That doesn't mean I learned it all, by no means, but I got a glimpse of what is out there that belongs to us. It's a rich and varied corpus of knowledge with some facet that can appeal to each of us. So I encourage you to explore other learning opportunities for your children. There are plenty available, especially in our area. I'll help you where I can if you need suggestions. I'm sure the rabbi will do so also. I would also encourage you to do some learning for yourselves. Set the time aside to take a course, enroll in the Adult Mountain Program, support Adult Ed and Sisterhood educational exam programs. Lead by example, and it will not be lost on your children. Set time aside to be with your children in positive Jewish settings. This can be a Tikkun Olam project, or it can be one night a week when everyone knows that it's family night at the dinner table. Though it doesn't have to be, I'll tell you that a good night for this is Friday night. Make Kiddush and Motzi, so you show your family that this has some meaning and is a tradition worth continuing. Yes can be an easy word sometimes. Yes, you can go out with your friends. Yes, you can skip family time, but think of the cost when you miss family time together. Can't you set aside a night for family and togetherness? For Judaism? So it's time for a break, and that musical interlude that I mentioned, with some thanks and apologies in advance. From South Pacific by Rogers and Hammerstein, Some Enchanted Evening. Where do we start? Here we go. Some enchanting evening, I could lead them all in. I could chant Gonidre across a crowded shul, and somehow you'll know even then, we'll absolve your vows again and again and again. Some enchanting Shabbos, I could chant of Torah, I could daven Musaf here at Shomrei Torah. Sort of like this morning. And prayer after prayer, as strange as it seems, the sound of your singing helped fulfill my dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell us why? Chachams don't give reasons, but rabbis always try. Shout!